Hello there. Welcome to Fridays with Tab and Chance. I am Tabitha Brown, and this is my husband.
I'm Chance, what's up?
Bring the beat in. Fridays with Tab and Chance. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Fridays with Tab and Chance. And this is anniversary edition. You got to do it. And it's a love edition. You got to do it back. Wait a minute. Come on, babe. It's the love edition. Yeah, feel it.
My neck tight.
Let me do it again. Come on, babe. For real.
All right, what we talking about?
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how the last 25 years of our relationship has been. You see that? I'm the one that want to have all the fun. Party pooper right here. You don't want to have fun. But yet, I guess some type of way we created balance. And we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
Babe, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do
I
this.
ain't no robot.
No, this ain't the robot. This the snake. Whatever it's called when I give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you.
I don't want it.
Babe, you remember you said that. I ain't going to give it to you later. Babe, 25 years. We're about to celebrate 25 years together, 20 years married on April 19th. Got something special coming for y'all. Next week, y'all will see it. But today, we figured we would kind of go, I guess, down like memory lane, and let's talk about like what these last 20, 25 years have been like. A lot of it has been like this, like y'all just saw. You know, one of us is very serious all the time. Can you guess who? And one of us is always cutting up, getting on somebody's nerve. Can you guess who? Babe, what's going on?
I don't know, what we talking about? You said you want to reflect on these 25 years, right?
Yeah, go ahead, babe. Because you
said you want to reflect. Tell me, since you already got started, what has this 25 years been to you? What does it look like in your reflection?
In my reflection, it looks like a rainbow. And I'll tell you why. Rainbows come from sometimes storms and rain. But when it storm clears and it passes, there's sunshine, and that's when the rainbow appears. I feel like that's what it has been. You know, over the last 25 years, we've had a lot of storms and rain, but we had a lot of sunshine that overshadowed the storms and brought something beautiful like a rainbow. And in this season of our relationship, I feel like we, as Blackie would say, are finding Blackie Brown. Well, before Blackie interrupted, I was going to say, we are sliding down the rainbow, right? That's the phase that we're in. Like, you know how like they say, oh, if you go and you search, you can find a pot of gold. So to me, I feel like the journey is the where we are, and that's like an exciting part where, oh, there might be this this pot of gold at the end. It could possibly happen. But I feel like the pot of gold is already here. Like there's no reason to expect it when we already possess it. And that's kind of how I feel in this journey. But
let's give, I would love to give a little context. What do you remember about the beginning? What is something, give me a positive memory and then give me something not so positive about the beginning.
Of our relationship?
And are we talking about marriage or are we talking about our relationship? Because it's two different. Okay, so.
It can be both because, we got married on our anniversary.
I think it's important so that they can kind of understand your rainbow. Mm-hmm. So at the beginning of the rainbow, what do you remember? Good, and then give me a bad.
In the beginning of our relationship, the very beginning, we were young, so that first year was like always good, really. I think the tough part was like when we were away from each other for about 3 months when I moved to California.
Yeah. Felt
like forever, okay? Those 3 months were hard. I think that's when I realized, like, oh my God, this is what real love is. Like, oh, this hurt. If I don't see him every day, I can't, be with him. But it was such a young, we were 19. It was a very young love, an exciting time. Couldn't get enough of each other. And we were all we had. It was just me and him, in a foreign place in Laguna Niguel, and no friends really. So it was all us every day. And it was great during that time. And then I think the next year, moving back to North Carolina, that I thought it was still gonna be that. And you started like making friends or going out. And I ain't like that. That's kind of when like our arguments began. And then we used to have very bad arguments. I realized I didn't know how to argue in the beginning, remember? I was like, I'm kind of scared. Like, and I ain't like being scared, so then I got mad. I was like, I ain't no punk now, wait a minute. So then.
So this is still the beginning of the rainbow?
It's still beginning.
Okay, so this is what you were talking about in terms of.
Storm, yeah, because you gotta have, like, the storms is what rain and storms is what most time bring out the rainbow. So I think our arguments were so bad. We were young, didn't know who we were, had a lot of like responsibility at young ages. And then we would get through those storms and a rainbow would appear.
Okay.
And it would be love all over again. So I think that's the very early.
The middle. Let's say we've been together 25 years. Let's go back to about 12 years ago.
12 years ago. I think we should go to when we got married, because that's year one. So then let's say 5 years.
Okay, 5 years. All right.
We got married after 5 years of being together.
Okay.
And prior to getting married, though, remember you didn't want to get married. And then I was like, I'm all right, we ain't got to get married, babe. Mm-hmm. Then when I said we ain't got to get married and I was cool with it, then you said, no, I want to get married. You want to marry me. So then we got married. And I think because we were together for 5 years already, it didn't feel new. We were already doing married things.
Right.
We were living together already, had, babies, and but it didn't feel new, but it felt like, I do remember I couldn't wait to say, that's my husband. That's why I still love to say it now. And I remember practicing writing Tabitha Brown. I was like, oh, I've been a Thomas my whole life. Now I'm finna be Tabitha Brown. And I was excited about that. And I was very proud to wear the last name Brown. I was like, I'm a brown now. I got a husband.
I think that's something that we all take pride in. You know,
Yeah.
whether you want to say it out loud or not. Yeah, we all take. I remember feeling the same way.
But what about you?
What do you mean?
Yeah, what you mean? Like, cause you mean me having your last name?
Having my last name, like saying I got a wife. Because I was growing up in a family where marriage was not that popular. You know what I mean? Whereas people didn't get married. It was not common. I was asking you the questions mainly because I was listening to your rainbow analogy, right? I like it. But if you were to ask me, the reason I say, to explain it, because in reflection, I'm like, now when I think about the beginning of our relationship, some of the things that we were going through, looking back on it, as opposed to when we were going through it, there's a different feeling, naturally, right? Because we made it through it. It's like things now that I look back on, like us moving in together on our own, 3,000 miles away from our family, right? I remember the pride that I took in accepting the challenge and taking everybody on. I remember that, like, nah, we're gonna do this. And doing it with a little bit of resentment. There was a competitive side to me to where I kind of just knew that they were waiting on us to fail. And when I look back at it now, I look at it and I say, it warms my heart. It makes me feel good that we made it through it, right? It's like, it's a different feeling. It's a different feeling. It was adversity that me and you conquered on our own. And when I look at a lot of the things that you were referring to, even with the arguments and things that sometimes I think couples think it's the end of the world. We even had a friend one time that was surprised to hear that we argued. I remember early in her marriage. I think we put too much on it in its current state to where we can't see where we are in the rainbow, where we are in the race, right? But in reflection, when I look back at it now, it does nothing but give me a sense of pride. And I wouldn't change it for nothing in the world because of the feeling that I associate with it, right? We had some knockdown arguments, some things that a lot of people cannot make it through. We went through some situations in our home, connected to our family, where we had to grow up real fast. We sacrificed a lot of things.
Multiple times.
Multiple times. We sacrificed life. We sacrificed a lot of things in that course of that rainbow, right? Like that when you start talking about, on the backside of it and now going down the slide to goal, I was trying to see if I could figure out a way to get you to a point to where the people who hear it are not looking at it as there's a finish line, but the goal is in the rainbow.
That's what I said.
You know what I mean? Like but be able to articulate it so that they could,
But that's what I
see
said.
it.
I said there's not a pursuit of thinking, there's a goal at the end of the rainbow, when you realize the goal was already here, right? It's within the rainbow.
It's within it.
Right? So there's not this pursuit of, we got to get to the pot of gold.
Right.
Right?
On the other side.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We're sliding down. To me, I think the pot of gold is when death do us part. That's like mission accomplished. That is, now we have our union this is it. But the goal is like us sliding down the rainbow. That is the goal. And the rainbow has all these different colors that represent different things. Sometimes you might be feeling blue or indigo, as they say, right? Or red, as in hot. But
that's good.
I think that
that's a good one.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why I feel like our relationship it's like a rainbow. That's really what I feel. And the sunshine brings about a rainbow through a storm, through rain. These things happen to build a relationship. No relationship goes completely smooth with no arguments, no problems, no obstacles, and no, hard circumstance. Like, that's a relationship. It's going to happen if you're honest. If y'all are really in it together, these things are gonna happen. So that was my analogy. I know you thought you had me pinned. Well, you thought I was just gonna say, and now we at the pot of gold, but that's not, my thought is every day we got gold. Every day I'm with you, it feels like I got a pot of gold. But I also know that with that comes storm and rain sometime, right? But sunshine still, and that's from the beginning of our relationship to now. These things, that's what it is. But it's something that's funny that you said that you had a resentment, like you were, it was competitive for you. I know, because everybody didn't think we was gonna make it.
Right.
But I never cared. Like I never, my thought was never to prove nobody wrong. My thought was only to just prove my love to you. I know you as a man, you probably was trying to, for my daddy, you was like, I want to prove to you I can take care of your daughter. But to me, I was like, if I love him enough, and then my daddy gonna understand, I guess. I don't know, in my mind,
It does not surprise me that you didn't care.
I ain't never cared.
If anybody would have asked me, I'd have said Tab didn't care.
Yeah.
It was, I knew that was a personal thing for me.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful. You know why? Because it's what I needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like one of those things that was a reminder. It was a reminder when things got bad. Something that, an accountability check. Like, hey man, you got to get it together, bro.
Yeah.
Like, no, you said you was gonna see this through. And I mean, you said you was gonna see it through. Get out of your feelings, let's see it through. Do everything you can to make it work. Even if that means change. Even if that means apologize. Even if that means, even if that means that you're right, but it doesn't matter.
That part.
Right? Be able to see
a
that.
whole lot of that.
You know what I mean? So I'm glad that I kind of had, the chip is not on my shoulder anymore, but in the beginning of our relationship, I feel now appreciative of it because it was a little bit of motivation, a lot of motivation. It was, like, hey man, everybody expecting you to fail. People are, because of their own failures, projecting failure on you and her. They've been in, this is puppy love. We've been here before. Y'all ain't doing nothing. She'll be back, and I took it now, looking back at it now, I know that they didn't mean any harm. They were only either speaking their fears, it was out of love, or they were only looking at a track record of thousands of other people and saying, what they thought, the numbers don't lie. It's more people who do fail than people who succeed. And for those, and that's why it's important for us to do this. So we can start, showing the world that people do succeed at it if your expectations are realistic and your views are realistic. But I'm glad, I'm thankful for it.
Do you think, and I just saw this on something on TikTok I was watching, how we can hear something, somebody can say something, but we hear something completely different.
That's what I was trying to, I don't think that everybody meant harm.
Right, but
in my young ears, right, I'm in reflection now, I can see that it could have been different, right? But with my young ears and where I was at, I was like, I accept your challenge. You think I'm gonna fail?
Because that's what I'm saying. Nobody ever just said that.
No, nobody said it.
But even if somebody said, you moving to Cali, you heard y'all ain't doing that.
Exactly.
Right?
And I
which
said,
is so wrong of us to internalize that way, which is why a lot of problems happen in relationships, right? So I think this is a great conversation, like a great moment, because even in our relationship, Chance could say something to me, but I heard what I heard. Or I could say something to him.
Because it felt a certain way, right?
Because of the work that either hasn't been done inside or the work that has been done inside. So I realized that, in our relationship, a lot of our arguments came from something that was said that was never said. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it could be like, no, I don't want to go to your grandma's house. I heard you don't like my family. You know what I'm saying?
That was a good one.
You know what I'm saying? So, versus him saying, or even with us after Hope's wedding, we came back from a wedding before we were married. After he had convinced me that getting married was not necessary, I was on this for a year. Like, okay, I'm good. We ain't got to get married. We left this wedding, and he was like, in the car, like, that was nice. Like, you want to get married? I was like, no, I don't want to get married. He heard, you don't want to marry me? And all I was saying was, no, I have come to the agreement with you that we don't have to do that. But it's because we hadn't did some work. So a lot of times in relationships.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in right there. So the guy who married our friend Hope, family member
Watch
Hope.
Your mic.
I remember it. They were saying some great things about what marriage is, what a man's role is. I remember they was describing her then husband, and I was like, that's me. I'm that dude too. I can provide that, right? I'm listening, and Tab's sitting there with me, so I'm like, okay, yeah. If that's what it is, and we have the understanding that we in this together, I'm the best candidate for this gig. So when we get in the car, for her to say, after hearing the same thing that I heard, for her to say, no, I'm cool. That's what I heard. No, I'm cool. It kind of said to me, like, she heard what I heard. I heard what they said about Hope. I see that in her.
But
she heard what they said about him. And she gonna hit me when I'm cool. So I said,
I ain't even
hold
say
up.
that.
So I know that's not what she said, but that's what I heard. You understand? When you say, nah, I'm okay. She said it in the nicest way. It wasn't disrespectful at all. It was kind of like, I'm driving and kind of like, man, I'm reflecting on the wedding, but her reflection of it wasn't where mine was. So when she was kind of dismissive of it and like, what we doing for the rest of the day? And I will go ahead and say this. I don't even know if I ever told you this, but prior to going to this wedding, I was hanging out with some guys, talking about this wedding at work, and they was like, "Don't go to that wedding. Your girl gonna want to get married." Don't, guys talking about that kind of stuff. So when she came out and had the exact opposite response of it, I'm like, "Hold up, you don't want to marry me?" It kind of threw me off. So I was that's where my thinking was. You said it polite, and afterwards, us talking about it, you explaining to me, it made me want to get married even more. You know what I mean?
We had an understanding. Like, he had really convinced me that, we didn't need to get married as long as we was together. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be with you forever. I don't care. If you don't want to get married, I ain't going nowhere.
Which was more touching, and it made me realize this is a woman that I need to be with. This is who God put in place. Because what Tab is not saying is this: she grew up in a family where, they went to church and marriage was important. It's the first time I heard the word shacking. She was a daddy's girl, and he was putting a strong emphasis on marriage and not shacking, and she was going against everything that she taught, everything she was taught, everything that she had learned, and going against the person that, she loved the most, which is her dad. So when she expressed to me that she didn't want to get married because of what I said, and like, I just want to be with you. I'm cool with being with you. You don't understand marriage. We'll do it by your terms, your terms and what you are accustomed to. it then said to me, "Ah, man, this girl willing to give up everything she believed in for me." So then I wanted to get married, but even more.
So we got married.
So yeah, then we got married. But okay, so
So then we got married. 5
yeah,
years in.
5 years in. I kind of lost track of what my thinking there, but
But
I forgot how we got to that point.
well, you was talking about the beginning, so you gave your thoughts, and then we kind of ventured off a little bit because we do that. And when you married, you might have a conversation about something, and then it can turn into something else.
Oh,
That's
we
what
was talking
happens.
about what you heard as opposed to what people
Yeah.
said.
What you heard, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
But you're exactly right. I know now,
Yes.
the older version of me, that all the people I'm thinking about, they never would have said anything.
Yeah. No one ever said y'all gonna fail.
Yeah, they just.
Well. Well, they still mad. Anyway.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
But
the people that we can say that they wanted us to fail.
yeah, it was a few people. It was a few people who wanted us to fail. However, be careful be careful when you say stuff like that, because you may encounter those people who will accept your challenge, and that may.
And also be careful with wishing bad upon people.
That's right.
And because most time it's that karma coming on back. Anywho, so we got married, and so that was 5 years. So then let's say the next 5, because we can break it up like that, I guess.
After marriage,
Yeah.
those were some of the most trying years. After marriage, because of expectations, because of tradition, because of uncharted ground, if I'm thinking about myself, and then pressures that you put on yourself because now you have somebody who wears your name. I'm just speaking from my situation. It was difficult because then you start putting. I know with me, I started putting timelines. I started putting unrealistic timelines to create pressure. Like, I'm supposed to do this for my family and my wife. And I don't know if it was I thank God for being able to find a career in law enforcement with little education and all of that. But it also created a more stressful situation because I walked into it, or I was able to, God blessed me with it. I started to then move the needle a little different. Like, okay, I got my career. Now I got to find us a house. I got to do this. So the next 5 years after marriage, as I reflect on it, it was kind of.
Well, we went through a lot during that time.
It was good. It was bad. Yeah, we went through.
My mama was sick.
And then, and that's a whole nother thing. When you don't have, so lack of knowledge of what marriage is, right? And what a lot of people don't. We talked about this in one of our other episodes. You're not just marrying the person, you're marrying the person's family as well. And how to address that, how to be sympathetic and empathetic, and how to balance all these new things in marriage and in uncharted ground, and even in that's difficult. So the 5 years after, I guess I would say it's kind of, because there was a lot of great things that happened, but for every great thing that happened, I keep having memories of just one or two other bad things that just happened, or horrible things, and it was the most trying time in our relationship. Yeah. That was the most trying time in our relationship.
Yeah,
But
let's see what.
It didn't last 5 years, so that's why I'm kind of. It lasted a little bit more than 5 years.
Yeah, so I feel like the first. Because the first 5 years of our relationship, we weren't married. We were still very young, and most of that was in North Carolina, a little bit here in North Carolina. Then the first 5 years of our marriage.
I always look at our first 5 years, we were making up for high school. We'll make it up in high school. That's how I always write that off as,
Right.
we're gonna make up for that.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
we're gonna make up for the years that we separated in high school. Let me go ahead and just make up for all
That's what
that.
you was doing?
That's how I look at it.
That's what
how
it- that's what
do.
it was?
I do. I always look at that like, see, if we would have just stayed together like we were supposed to in high school. But
I tried to get back with you, but you didn't even look at me.
Tab, stay on top.
I got the
Stay on top of it.
ninth grade. I was like, dang, babe,
Come on.
it really ain't no boys over here.
First 5 years after marriage.
I tried to
First
tell
5
you.
years after marriage.
I said, it ain't no boys over here in high school.
You gonna really?
And you was like, go to where the devil live. That's what you told me. That's what you told me. And then you went and talked to me. Said, yeah.
You won't go down this road? I'm trying to push the gas. We can go down this road.
So anywho, our first 5 years of marriage, we was 1 year in North Carolina, about a year and a couple months, year and a half, and then the other 4 years were in California.
We moved 1 year later.
The majority of our marriage has been in California. Even though we go back home to North Carolina all the time, the majority of our marriage, it has been a California marriage, right? So it was me, you gotta stay with me forever. Because, if we was in North Carolina and you try to leave me or something, it wouldn't be no mess. But out here, you'd be like, trying to take half of everything. See?
Oh.
You see how
Don't worry.
You gotta be with me forever. We can't never part.
Don't worry, I ain't going nowhere.
You leave me on a farm in North Carolina. But we can move back.
I've been listening to some of them calls you be getting. I ain't going nowhere.
Listen, what I tell during your leisure was mine is yours, was yours is mine.
Yeah.
We got the joint account. So after being here in LA, I think, I feel like with some of the things that we went through in those first 5 years of marriage here, if we had been in North Carolina, we wouldn't have made it.
We wouldn't have made it.
Moving away from our family forced us into
Conversations.
We're gonna have to deal with it. We don't know nobody out here. We were trying to create a village, but we didn't really know nobody and didn't trust people. We was all we had. It was like, we're gonna have to get through this. We're gonna have to figure this out. And we had a lot of small victories, right? What's something great that you remember? Because I have a great memory in our first 5 years of marriage here in California. I'm gonna tell you
a great memory.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if you got the same.
In our first 5, great memory.
This is a consistent memory that I have.
A great memory.
It was something that was very similar to what we did in North Carolina, and then we did it when we moved here too. We just continued it.
What?
Like every Friday.
I don't know.
We would always go to dinner.
Oh,
So-
Fish House.
So in North Carolina, that's what Troy's would call.
Yeah.
So in North Carolina, we would always go to Red Lobster,
Mine,
right? Now when we moved to LA, we used to go to PF Chang's or Grand Lux Cafe every Friday. That was our thing.
yeah,
You don't remember that?
I remember.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember. I'm just thinking of in the first 5 years of being here, just reflecting on it in general. Like, man, most relationships would not have made it.
Oh yeah, no.
They would have, like, what we was dealing with, being in a new place, dealing with death, dealing with a trying, scary career, right? Dealing with
No career.
dealing with the culture is different here in Los Angeles. It's so different. Like, just even how you raise kids, it's different. It's hard. Achievable, but hard.
Yeah.
The fact that we sustained and with the little bit of money
Very little.
and
I thought I was balling there because I was getting
So-
$15 an hour.
man, and then I'm in an element where I mean, it was hard, being in law enforcement, working for the largest police department in the world, coming from the culture, from the world that I come from, right? From the upbringing that I had. And, trying to pursue Hollywood, and everybody with every opportunity that they get telling you that you're crazy for coming out here with a big dream to make it in Hollywood. With so many people showing, even if they didn't say it, their eyes told you that.
I mean, you even had friends who said to you, how long you gonna let your wife do that?
Yeah.
How long you gonna let her pursue that?
How long you gonna support her in this? I remember, and not to get off track, I remember somebody pointing out a homeless person and said, that person right here came out here just like you and your family.
Yeah.
And and then asked me, how long you gonna deal with this? How long you gonna, how long does your support last? To the fact that we made it through that, like, it's kind of like it's one of those proud moments. But when I look back at that first 5 years, that's rough. That's rough. Like, man, the fact that we made it through that.
That's why I look at this something so simple as every Friday, even going through everything we was going through, we would make a point to be like, let's go to dinner.
But if I'm really saying, like, the thing that I remember that I look forward to every weekend.
Sunday dinners?
Sunday dinners.
Oh, Sunday dinners.
Sunday dinners where we played spades,
but
we
that
played
was
in between.
Everybody.
Yeah.
We've always been very family oriented and wanted to build a village of friends and family, and the majority of them we still have. But I think about quiet moments where it was just me and you and Choice, because Choice was always there, as a little baby, as a little girl. And we talked about that before, like she saw the best and the worst of us.
Yeah.
But I just always think about those quiet moments that, to me, I think was kind of like our healing moments. We could go a whole week and not be talking in the house, not be speaking to each other. And then Friday come and be like, you wanna go get something to eat? And it was like, yeah. And then we would talk at dinner.
Yeah.
And it would make things better, right? I think about those moments. Then I also think about, us buying our first house. And you working very hard to do that, even though it was way out in Palmdale.
Right.
But even that caused us great stress. But in the moment of it, it was such an amazing process. We were so excited about it. It's just been so many things that we've been through that it is absolutely amazing that we're sitting here together.
Yep.
I
want to say that it's kind of hard to sum up that 5 years.
It's a
I
lot.
want to say that's actually about 10.
Like a marriage.
After being married, you know what I mean? That's why I'm kind of, thoughts are all over the place. Yeah, that season lasted.
Well, it lasted a good 8 years.
Yeah.
Things got better between us once we left Palmdale.
Yeah.
Right, so we're talking like 2010 is when things started to get better. We got married in 2003. So that's 7 years. And then we only could lean on each other when Troy's went to middle school and high school.
Right.
We both thought we weren't gonna make it. But, and then we decided to have Quest, to try to have another baby, and it did that. It was just, I think we have grown stronger and stronger ever since then. I think that maybe that first year after was a little bit rough, but then it's been like you said, it's been a rainbow. It's been a rainbow. It's been a rainbow for us to still be sitting here. So when people be like, goals, I be like, no, gold. The rainbow, the gold is inside the rainbow. I'll be telling people, if they only knew the things that we've been through, they wouldn't be like, oh, I want what you have. And I know you said that like people shouldn't aspire to want the exact same relationship because you don't know what happens inside of somebody's relationship. But what I can say is I'm grateful and I'm thankful that everything that we went through, I did it with you.
Me too.
You know, that we...
You just said something. People would not believe what we have been through. We've said that a lot, right?
Yeah.
So, and then one of our close friends is like a family member of ours. When I said earlier that she couldn't believe. So I want to put an emphasis on, I want to take that. She could not believe that we argued. So when Tab says, when we say you would not believe what we've been through, let me break that down. You would not believe what we've said to each other, done to each other, held over each other's head, weaponized words, weaponized events. We have done a lot of the things that
you shouldn't survive.
just like a lot of relationships. Mm-hmm. We are very, very normal in the sense of things that happen in relationships. Where if you're going to give us credit for surviving those things. Yeah. But don't separate us in thinking that
they're just
perfect. He would not say that to her.
Right.
She would not say that to him. She would not
we
do
done
that
said
to him. We've said it. We've done it. We didn't do everything. We've been together since we was kids. If you have not taken anything from this conversation, you should know we've been together since we was kids. So we grew together. Yeah. I felt the need to say that because of people like her and because of some of the people in my messages that give me those kind of like responses. Well, I know you wouldn't understand this.
We understand more than you know.
Yes, I would.
But that also comes with, which is what we tell the girls all the time, right? We were so young in our relationship. We've been together since we were 19. We didn't even know who we were yet. Mm-hmm. I didn't know who I was or who I was becoming as a woman. I was still a girl. I didn't know womanhood. I didn't know who Tabitha was, right? Same with Chance. He didn't know who he was. That's where most of the arguments come from. When you don't know who you are, you ain't really lived life yet. And then you add a new responsibility of a baby, and you already got one baby, and now we 22, 23 with 2 children. Like, it is hard when you're very young trying to adult without knowing who you are. So I always tell people, yes, we made it. It was very hard. Most would not. But get to know who you are first before you decide, I want to be in this relationship with somebody else. It's going to be hard for somebody to love you when you don't know how to love yourself, right? So get to know who you are, and then you can bring something very powerful to the table, which is why I think we are so good now, because now we know who we are. So now we know how to really communicate. Now we know how to really sometimes be silent and just listen. But that comes with growth within first. And I think that's the thing I've learned the most in our relationship, is the better I became as a person, as Tab, the better wife I became. And so, and still growing. Mm-hmm. What?
I'm just thinking about how this started.
What?
Remember how she was giving me a hard time at the beginning? Remember the beginning of how we started this video?
What?
How you was giving me a hard time, trying to force me to dance and and now she talking about how she learned to be quiet and how, learn be on
Here, see how we went right back.
I'm just saying, see how I come full circle. You know how you say, you just learned,
Yeah, but see.
And I was sitting there like, yeah, that's what I was doing in the beginning of this video. When you was kind of making me try to do the robot, and I was like, nah. And then you was like, seeing some of us are super serious. No, I was just practicing what you know. It's 25 years.
What's the divorce rate after 25 years? I wonder what that
Divorce
is.
rate after 25
Yeah, I wonder
years?
how many people get divorced after 25 years?
In Cali?
It's cheaper to keep her. Babe, why you gotta do all that?
Come on now, let these people go now.
See, the
Let
thing
these
is
people
about
go.
chance.
Let's end this right now.
The thing about Chance,
this girl.
the thing about Chance is he, and what we have all learned, he don't want to do nothing that he don't want to do, right? I don't want to do nothing I don't want to do, but I love to like play and have fun and stuff. He only love to play when he feel like it. Now,
That's anybody.
or if ain't nobody watching. Chance be cutting up. Y'all think Chance so serious. Y'all be like, oh,
No, they don't. They know me now.
They be like,
These
man,
people know
Chance
me.
don't play.
No, that's
Chance
not.
is
That's
a
what they used to say.
whole clown. When this camera is off, he try to act all tough and stuff right here.
No. Chance
Should be doing acting.
is.
Came out here to pursue acting. But Chanzel, over here acting, should be in movies. Somebody call him. Look at him.
I agree.
Y'all see?
I
wish y'all could see the camera, the production behind here. How everybody trying to keep their laugh together.
I completely agree.
See how he's trying to act.
You just said it. I am the next Denzel Washington. I am Idris Elba.
You ain't Idris.
Who ain't it? Listen, I'm the next.
Let me hear your British accent.
When they pay me, they'll hear it.
No. Anyway, you go ahead and close this out since you got so much you want to say now.
25 years, you still getting bothered. Look at you. Give me a kiss.
No. Anyway, next week,
Give me a kiss.
y'all stay tuned. We got something real special for y'all.
Give me some sugar.
If we make it to the end.
Give me some
I don't know. We might not be together next week. I don't know. I'm looking. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna look at some paperwork or something.
You want to move? You want to move?
I don't want to talk to you no more. Y'all ready? Y'all done? Y'all done with this episode? Everybody finished?
Mm-hmm. Everybody's hearts, minds in the right place.
Yours is not. Y'all see, this 25 years right here. 20 years married, 25 together. This how it be. See how we was in a loving rainbow?
I don't know what
and here
the
come the
problem is.
storm. Here come the storm, about to
What?
bring a new rainbow.
What?
Our rainbow got 11 colors in it.
I just bought it just full circle. That's all. So I was just reflecting on how we started the video as opposed to how we ended the video.
Chance still got work to do. The Lord ain't done with him yet.
Oh,
All right.
I agree.
You make me sick. Get on my nerves.
I knew you was gonna give me some sugar. All right, y'all. Go ahead, finish it off.
You knew I was gonna get.
Go
some
ahead,
sugar.
Tab. Just let it be done.
I got something for you later.
Really.
That's it, y'all. Stay tuned for next week. We got something very good. And remember, you can also listen to this on a podcast, Fridays with Tab and Chance, wherever you listen to your podcasts and things, okay? Until then, go on about y'all business and have the most amazing day. But even if you can't have a good one, don't you dare go messing up nobody else's here. This is live, all right? The doorbell rung, and that's it. Talk to y'all later. Thank y'all for watching. And don't forget to click here for more episodes.
And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Very good.